Bob Berry Senior Address. Brad has received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication with a specialization in journalism. Brad is the son of Danny and Leanne Bartlett of Independence, Missouri. Following the Bob Berry Address will be the singing music presentation by Sarah Simmons. Sarah is graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree in music with a specialization in piano. She is the daughter of Timothy and Sharon Simmons of Roach, Missouri. Now it's my privilege to present our senior speaker, Brad Bartlett, followed by Sarah Simmons.
Good evening. I'd first like to thank President Taylor, Dr. Brown, Dr. Langford, our board of trustees, our staff and faculty members, our alumni and parents, and most of all you, my fellow students, graduates, and friends. Welcome to Southwest Baptist University's December 2011 commencement ceremony. Now, I'll be remiss if I did not begin with the traditional congratulations, so congratulations, friends. We made it 4.5 or 5 or 6 or so years of blood, sweat, tears, and Taco Bell have culminated in this very night. Blood from that first mission trip immunization shot, sweat from all those close intramural flag football games, and of course, the tears that flowed after you missed your first test because you missed your alarm clock, even though you're positive you said it the night before. Innumerable college experiences, all preparing us to take that next step in life. Now the question is, what's that next step going to be? Well, for those of you who are interested, we'll be meeting at Taco Bell immediately after the ceremony to discuss our resumes and get those contact numbers. If you all will allow me a moment of your time tonight, I want to talk to you about that very item, time. A funny thing, time. If we all lived to be exactly 75 years old, you would experience about 39,420,000 minutes. This includes, of course, the 44,000 minutes that the average college student spends playing Call of Duty every semester, but our future employers don't really need to know about that. These past several years we've been learning and preparing how to budget the time in these precious moments in a world that demands twice as much of us as we have to give. Think of how we speak of time. May I have a bit of your time? How much time do you have today? I have to give my time to something else, I'm sorry. When did time, something so benevolently out of our own control, become something we feel we can drain as capital? There's one lesson that my time at SVU has taught me. It's this. The Lord owns my time, and my feeble attempts to control and budget successfully are humorous at best. I'll never forget when this lesson first sunk in. One night, as my roommates and I were sitting out under the stars at Sunset Bridge outside of town, one of my roommates stood up and said, "Brad, isn't it interesting? When you hold your hand on a hot stove for a minute, it feels like an eternity. But when you hold a girl's hand for an hour, it only goes by in a minute." He called this little piece of college genius the theory of relativity. Sometimes when we're sitting in chapel, or trying to survive that grueling test, or working on that paper that we put off at the very last minute, an hour can feel like an eternity. And I'm not talking about the eternity with Jesus and the angels and the harps and music. Think of those moments when you and your roommates stayed up all night talking. Or that first experimental and risky trip to Springfield you took as a freshman. Or that night you decided to shirk all of your academic responsibilities and help build that homecoming float. Think of that week you spent overseas in a village where no one's ever heard the gospel before. Suddenly, weeks at a time seem to go by in an instant. It would seem that our hold on precious time has still become our grasp. Tonight, I want to submit to you all an idea. Let us stop attempting to sell our time because it was never really ours to begin with. I kind of think that's how we got in the situation we seem to be in our country, buying and selling the things we never really owned in the first place. Let us stop trading and let's simply start living. Because we begin to think of the time it took for us all to get to this very night, it begins to seem like we may not have as much time as we once thought we did. To help us grasp this lesson, it's perhaps helpful to remember what Scripture says. In James, chapter 4, the writer likens a person's life to a vapor that appears for a short time and then vanishes away. In the 144th Psalm, the psalmist speaks of our days as a shadow that passes away. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I think about the fragility of my life and the idea that my time on earth is not limited, I get a little nervous. And yet, when I accept this idea, there's something about it that's liberating. Although I don't have complete control over my time here on earth, I just have to put my trust in the one who does. Doing this enables me to live my life freely in recognition that, although He gives me freedom and choices that I must make responsibly, He is ultimately the writer of my story, and I'm pretty comfortable with His penmanship. Speaking of stories, I've heard some great ones while here at SBU. For the last 2 years, I've worked at the call center over in the sales administration building. Let me tell you, you've never spent 3 hours a night calling people in the middle of dinner and asking them for donations. You've never really lived. Each one of my calls begins exactly the same way. I say, hello, my name is Brad. I'm at Southwest Baptist University. How are you doing tonight? May I have a moment of your time? And in this small exchange, I get to hear countless stories of our brothers and sisters who are sharing this earthly existence with us. I hear stories from cancers, to deaths of loved ones, to bankruptcies, to praise and miraculous healings, to weddings and births. Simply because I was willing to share a few moments of existence with them, I become part of their story. Those are the small moments that can change lives. So this is my challenge as we begin this next phase of life. Let us spend less time budgeting our time, and let's just spend more time giving the time that's given to us. Let us share the experiences of others. Mourn when they mourn, celebrate when they celebrate, and give freely as we begin to. But I warn you, do not waste a moment of it, because God has bought our life with a price, and yet He expects much of us while we're here. So don't let a moment go by without loving. I think my favorite poet, Dylan Thomas, who I discovered while here at SBU, summed it up very well in his poem, Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night. He writes, do not go gentle into that good night. Old age burn, rage, and close the day. Rage against the dying of the light. So rage, my friends. Rage when they tell you that there are no jobs, when they tell you that there is no future, when they tell you that this Christian life really isn't worth holding on to anymore. Rage when they tell you that the essence of your faith is just a list of do's and don'ts. Rage when you see injustice, when they tell you that loving others is not worth the cost. Rage when they tell you that your time is a commodity and not a gift from God. Rage, my friends and fellow graduates. Rage. Thank you. Congratulations, class, to that.